is your First Alert 5 weather with Sam Schreier.
Good morning, everyone. Starting to see a little bit more of that cumulus cloud development over the mountains, and actually a little rain towards the southern edge of Colorado in those southern mountains that we'll show in a bit. It's 81 degrees. Humidity not bad. It is a little muggy outside, but it's kind of tolerable. In Woodland Park, beautiful 76. The sun is out. The clouds are kind of hugging the high terrain as you usually expect. But later on, a little bit more overcast sky over Woodland Park. Still sunny in Pueblo. It's more of a waiting game, Pueblo. You should stay dry pretty much all day. But closer to 6, that might be when some storms try to roll on through. And finally, Trinidad, once again, blue skies over town, looking just kind of hot at 88 degrees and a little lower humidity. Temperatures across the region. Warmest out towards La Junta and Lamar, although Pueblo, surprising you are this far behind La Junta and Lamar, but I think with the fact that you've got so much sun, the air is still dry enough. We're going to get definitely some 90s out of you a little later today. Give that atmosphere time to warm up. The pollen count is kind of moderate in the weeds, and everything else is on the lower end. Taking a look through our radar, cloud development thickening up over the high terrain and a little bit of rain in the Sangre de Cristos more than anything. Not so much off the Spanish Peaks, but just over La Vida Pass and then down the range towards Stonewall. A couple thunderstorms, although they're pretty weak at the moment. And actually, what's nice is the model kind of knew, oh yeah, there's a couple of thunderstorms around there. Our weather modeling has done an incredible job over the last couple hours of plotting these storms. It has kind of stayed on the same track, which gives us more confidence. We've got a couple storms starting up towards Woodland Park around 2, but I think some of the bigger action will be what happens around 3 to 4 o'clock. By 4, storms off Monument Hill, out of the mountains west of town, are moving through at 3:30, and then by 4 o'clock they're centered more over Powers on the east side of town. East of the interstate is where storms will likely become strongest in El Paso County in Colorado Springs. So if you live in Falcon, along Powers, in Fountain especially, definitely could see some severe storms. Large strong winds possibly damaging, but then some big hail is also possible. It now looks like quarter size, maybe over a quarter. Now these storms are south of the city for the most part by 5 o'clock, looking like they're going to hit the interstate kind of hard and mostly skip over Pueblo between 5, 6 into 7 o'clock. That will push some of the best storms along the eastern plains by 7, right towards La Junta. That bowing action tells me there's going to be some good wind with these storms, and maybe a few storms off the wet mountains tonight. It does kind of bow that segment out, telling me there's some wind packed into that cell, and then we essentially just watch these storms push east into the plains through the evening and kind of die off with time. So like by 11, there's not a whole lot left. Into our extended, Colorado Springs to me still has the best chance of all our 7 days of seeing severe weather. So 3 on the impact scale to be extra cautious. Large hail, quarter size, maybe just over, is one of the big threats. Also wind gusts of 50 to maybe 60 or 65 miles per hour. Tomorrow looks pretty dry, and then storm chances are a bit better through the extended, especially towards Thursday. You'll notice that in a lot of our 7 days, Thursday is kind of the next best day. Pueblo will be cautious for storms around 5, 6, 7, but I think the worst will be away from you. Windy as we get into the weekend with those storms. Canyon City, an isolated storm is possible. It's just not a very good chance of it. Today, you're kind of cut off from the wind. As we go through the extended, rain chances grow. Finally, Woodland Park. We should get a storm or at least a couple pretty close to the city later on this afternoon in a couple hours, but storm chances are better towards Thursday in particular.